Now, you all know about the letter from Congress at this point to the WNBA talking about the treatment of Caitlin Clark, the hostile work environment, all of these things being targeted, racially motivated, all of that. Stephanie White was asked about how she felt about it, gives a very, very interesting answer that I want to talk about. And then also Dan Dakich responds as well, and I want to play that for you. It's really interesting to hear Dan talk about this and some of the things he says because he's a huge Stephanie White guy. He has been shredding Caitlin Clark for a while now and talking about how much he loves Stephanie White, like she's the greatest basketball coach in the history of the sport. The man has said, "Hey, I have it on the highest of authorities within the Fever organization that they can't stand Caitlin Clark. They don't like Caitlin Clark." So it's really interesting to hear Dan now all of a sudden defending her and going after Stephanie White. But let us take a listen to this. By the way, real quick, welcome back to the channel, of course. Thank you so much for being here. Truly appreciate all of your support. Hope you all having a fantastic day. Shout out to the 19. Like, comment, subscribe, notification bell, hype on mobile. Y'all know it. Come on, let's go. Here we go.
Debate over Caitlin Clark's treatment in the WNBA now reaching beyond the court. Republican lawmakers in Congress sending a letter demanding accountability. Indiana Fever head coach Stephanie White was asked about that letter, and here is her response.
Concerning reports suggest that many of these attacks against Caitlin Clark may be racially motivated. What's your reaction to that?
Our team made a statement yesterday, so you can find that statement.
No, I understand that. I just mean as a coach, when you hear one of your players is being mentioned in a letter from members of Congress to the commissioner of the league, how do you handle that?
Again, that's not something we can control. We're not affiliated with those groups, and we try to keep the main thing, and focus on the things that we can control.
Dan, I know.
Wow. Okay. I'm going to let the response play after this, but I mean, listen to the tone of Stephanie White in that. Okay. Your superstar, your generational player has been so obviously, so blatantly singled out and targeted in a different manner than any other player in the league, that there is a letter from Congress talking about an investigation, and you sound resentful, annoyed, bored that you even have to spend a second answering a question about it. This is crazy to me that this is Stephanie White's response. This is your opportunity to show a little fire, to show a little of that love you constantly show Kelsey Mitchell. When Kelsey Mitchell has a game and you're asked about her, you practically are driven to tears, responding and gushing. And this, by the way, far more important than a player having a good player. And this is your response, not, hey, look, man, I don't know if it warrants this type of thing, but there is absolutely no doubt that Caitlin Clark has been targeted ever since she got in this league. And finally, frankly, I find that absolutely appalling. I find that disgusting from the players in this league that they allow their petty jealousy, their insecurity, their resentment because Caitlin Clark is so damn good, because Caitlin Clark is so damn popular, that they want to actually go out of their way to hurt her, which hurts themselves, by the way, because it hurts the league, that they want to go out and hurt her because of that. It's disgusting. I think the WNBA needs to put their foot down. They need to have much harsher consequences. The officials have to step up and do their jobs. We cannot have this in this league. And frankly, I am sick of it. I don't want Congress involved in this, but maybe it's the thing we need to get Kathy Engelbert off of her ass and actually do something to protect the player that has generated over a quarter of the economic activity for this league. This poor girl that comes in and just wants to hoop, and we have this nonsense. We have players like Alyssa Thomas attacking her in the Kennedy Carter incident and Marina Maybury. And frankly, I've had enough of it. I am pissed off. I don't want to see this crap going on in this anymore. And the players in our league need to freaking grow up. Okay, they need to grow up and deal with it and learn how to play basketball like adults. That's what Stephanie White should have said.
You're a coach, you're going to go at her, if you will, for not standing up for a player, which is literally what you're supposed to do, regardless almost of the circumstances. But not affiliated with Congress? What does that mean? We're all affiliated with Congress.
Yeah.
They write our darn laws, Dan.
Yeah, I like Stephanie White, too. She's a legend here in the state, won a national championship at Purdue. I've known her, I've met her. But this is jackassery, excuse my language. I mean, none of them, the front office, they never think to protect their star. And not being affiliated to Congress, okay, I guess. I mean, how do you even say that? How do you not stand up for your star? How do you not say, look, I don't like Congress getting involved? That's fine if you want to say that. But they're right. They are absolutely right, by the way. I don't get it, and it's from the front office down. There has never been a clip, ever, I swear to you, ever, where you feel like, sometimes they've said it, but you feel like, boy, oh boy, Stephanie White and Indiana Fever, they love their star. They're
so
protecting their star. You never feel that.
It doesn't make sense.
Never, ever feel that. That is 100% true. There is no fire. Like I said, every time Stephanie White is asked about Caitlin Clark, it is like pulling teeth. You can see it in her body language. You can hear it in the tone of her voice, the words she had. She says she is resentful that she ever has to spend a second talking about Caitlin Clark. Now, the other thing I want to add, because I thought it was absurd too, when she said we're not affiliated with those groups, and the guy talking to Dan mentioned Congress, but also how absurd it is. You're the head coach. You're her head coach. You're part of the organization she plays for. That makes you part of that hostile work environment, Stephanie. You are one that is going to be investigated. You're damn right you are affiliated with those groups. You are those groups. I hate to break it to you. I know you've never had any consequences in your life for your behavior, but you might have some right about now. I did a video the other day talking about Amber Cox, that she was going after Caitlin Clark fans, going after Fever fans because, they won a game without Caitlin, and she put out, as she does when they win without Caitlin, she put out a tweet about how great it was. The one before was a passive aggressive attack at Caitlin Clark's fans because she put out hey, in case you missed it, we won, blah, 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 insinuating because people have said Caitlin Clark fans are going to stop watching. Amber Cox never says anything to defend Caitlin. In those tweets, she talked about how, even Caitlin would be wants this win. They like to use Caitlin's fantastic attitude and maturity against her and against her fans, but not once have I seen anyone. We've got the assistant coaches who like to grab and corral Caitlin and whenever she's walking around on the court, but not once have I ever seen or heard any of them defend Caitlin Clark. Certainly not defend her with any kind of fire or any kind of passion. Caitlin needs to leave. And behind the scenes, this I think it's important to recognize. Behind the scenes, Caitlin Clark may have demanded a trade. I don't know if it's going to be able to happen this year because of the trade deadline being gone or a guaranteed salary is locked in. Sorry, trade deadline's not gone, but then you got to work out the whole salary cap thing and everything. So, but it could be just getting through the season, and maybe she's not back next year, right? They've got a whole lot of salary cap issues with the contract Caitlin Clark can get, what they already gave to Aaliyah Boston if they want to sign Kelsey Mitchell. I don't know how they make it all happen. They're already locked in on Lexi Hull and Monique Billings for a couple more seasons. So, anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Like, comment, subscribe. I will talk to y'all later.